Caldera Park, released in 2022, a re-implementation of Savannah Park, which was featured in episode 56 of the Game Schooler podcast.
42 years ago.
Yeah. Caldera Park is designed by Michael Kiesling and Wolfgang Kramer, art by Annika Heller, and published in North America by Pegasus Spiele.
In Caldera Park, you'll be responsible for mapping out your very own wildlife park in the North American wilderness, where animals live side by side in harmony. Each player receives a park board, 35 unique animal tokens, and 6 weather tokens. Actually, you get 10 weather tokens, but you'll only use 6 of them, including 1 sun token that includes 1 of each animal. At the start of each round, players will add a weather token to their board. Each weather token drives away several of the 6 animal species included in the game. Then the start player chooses an action token and a terrain requirement. For example, a bear tile must go on a river space. All players must then choose 1 token from their animal token display that shows the required feature and place their chosen animal token face up in any free landscape space in their park that obeys the terrain requirement. Players score their most valuable family of each species type at the end of the game. Players create a family when a set of animals of the same species form an unbroken group. The more animals in the family, the better, and watering holes in each family act as multipliers. So a family of 10 mountain goats with 3 watering holes would be worth 30 points at the end of the game. Once everyone has finished placing their token, the next player chooses one of the remaining action tokens and terrain requirements. Play continues until all 7 action tokens are exhausted. Then the board is reset and a new round begins. After 7 rounds, players flip any tiles affected by weather tokens and score points for completely covering different terrain types, surrounding geysers, and their largest families of each species, and the player with the most points wins. So, very similar to Savannah Park, this is Caldera Park, same designers. Not sure if it's the same artist, but very similar if it's not.
Same artist.
Okay. So it's kind of impossible not to compare the two of these games. The main differences that you're going to get is the way the tiles are put onto the board and that the way that the bad weather or hazards work. So in Savannah Park, you have all of the tiles on the board and you're kind of moving around as you go. This one, you're selecting and bringing them in and putting them on an empty board. And then in Savannah Park, the hazard, which are wildfire or brush fires, are only attacking the size of the number of animals on a tile. So it'll say anything around this brush fire with only 1 animal on it is going to be destroyed. The Caldera Park bad weather tiles have bears, watering holes, and mountain goats may be driven away if they're placed next to this. So they're a little bit more specific. Those are the 2 big differences. What do you like, or do you like this game better than Savannah Park? And if so, why?
So I'm not going to do a better comparison. I like this game. I really enjoyed Savannah Park. We reviewed that 40 years ago now, Doug, if you can believe that. And so I held off from even playing Caldera Park because why would I need to play that game? I have Savannah Park in my collection. Why would I need to play that game? And then seeing it on the table, it's different.
Yeah.
And especially knowing when those bad weather events are going to come out. You flip that tile. Is it at the beginning or at the end of the round? What's the flow of it? You flip one at the beginning of the game, and then you know which one's coming at the end of the round. Is that accurate?
You flip one at the very beginning of the game, and then one at the start of every round, including the first round.
And think about a tile on the outside of a perimeter, almost going clockwise, right? Around that 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock timing. And so not knowing what tile is going to come up in the bottom left of my board and how do I build into that or build away from it, it's a wonderful tension. I also really liked the point scoring at the end felt good. I mean, this one, our first game that we played, you scored 169 points. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I came in at 152. I still felt really good about my game. It came down to that last bad weather event tile that came out. destroyed, about 15 points for me. And what'd you lose? 6 or 8 points for you?
A ton. It destroyed my entire bear habitat.
Yeah. And so in our first play, we had memories, we had an experience. I thought it was very easy to get up and running as well. So I don't know about better. What's your answer to that question that you asked me? Which one do you prefer or like better, Doug?
Well, it's interesting because I do think for me there is a better. The scoring is very similar between both games. The two things that I really enjoy about this game in comparison to Savannah Park is I think the setup and to get up and running in this game is exponentially faster than laying all of your tiles out on the board, and then because they all need to be face up on your board to start the game in Savannah Park. So this one,
that's a big thing for you too, isn't it?
They're all face down, and then you're drawing out of a face down, and you've got a row of 7 or 8 that you can pick from every round. I love the freedom of that, and sometimes the ability to, I'm going to take this animal that I don't have face up in my display so I can place any animal on a river tile or things like that. There's a little bit more manipulation that I can feel. I feel like I can do. And then I also like there's a little bit more crunchiness to the bad weather tiles compared to just the brush fire in the original. And you have 10 bad weather tiles, and you're only going to be using 6 of them. And one of them is actually like a good weather tile. It's basically a wild animal
multiplier
of every type, which in the original game was in the middle of the board. This one, it's got to go somewhere on the outside. And that's the only one that you know confidently. And so we put all of the other one, the 4 that we didn't use in the box or out of the game. You don't get to see which they are. And it's like the first bad weather tile that I had was no bears. And so I'm like, oh, this is great. I'm not going to put any bears up around there, but it's like, didn't even occur to me to check to see if there were multiple no bears ones.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, well, the no bears one's up there. So I'm going to put the bears ones down there. That was the last tile I drew, and the bad weather went right into my bear section and then had a no bears on it.
Okay.
So that there's a little bit of control, but also not. And I like that extra tension of, I'm building this up, and it's like, I hope this last face down tile works well.
Yeah.
Because you can only mitigate it so far. And that's what I really like about it.
That's the word right there. And I think both games have that in common. You're trying to maximize your sets and get the largest groupings of animals that you can, while also mitigating the splitting them up and getting them destroyed. The game played very fast. I want to say we were start to finish with a teach in 40 or 45 minutes. And it was, I think what helped some of that is knowing Savannah Park. But it was, you said 2 or 3 sentences and we were off and running. I like both games, so it's hard for me to make a comparison one way or the other. It might not be helpful for our listeners or viewers, but that's just where I sit. They are different enough where I guess if you own 1,000 games, you could have both of them. But I'm not sure if everyone's going to have a strong preference one over the other. The biggest difference in Savannah Park, you're starting from the inside and going out typically. And in Caldera Park, you're working around the perimeter and working your way throughout the entire board.
Yeah, I think just that idea of the quicker setup time for me, and
which makes total sense.
And then there is also the simultaneous play, which keeps it moving, but there is that interaction of, I hope he doesn't take that animal tile and move it to that terrain. Like you have your own things. It's like, seeing what's on my board of what I can place out. It's like, I'd really like to put that triple bear here. And then somebody else says bear on a prairie space. And you're like, that's the only bear I have. And I don't want to put it in a prairie space. So there is that little tension of like, yeah, pick that one. Pick that action. That would be great for me. So I like that tension, even though it's not. Yeah, I mean, you don't have enough time to look around at everybody else's board and say, I'm going to hate draft this. You're pretty much, when your opportunity to pick the action and the terrain, you're picking the one that is benefiting you.
Yeah,
but it does keep everybody involved.
Didn't mean to talk over you there. Yeah, and at the end of the game, because it's an open draft, you can kind of see, oh gosh, if I select this tile, Doug is going to fill up all of his water spaces and get 6 points. But if I don't select this tile, then there's no way I'm going to fill up all of my water spaces and even have the chance to get 6 points. So yeah. I really like how the game closes out. I thought that was the way that the draft worked was a difference from Savannah Park as I remembered it and as we reviewed it. That end game, there was some fun tension there in those last few turns. It's still playing fast. It's not enough tension where people are going to slow down and math it all out, typically. Yeah. Not the way that we play or the people we play with. So, yeah, really, really good. I would put that as a family game that can also be enjoyed by gamers. That's kind of the bucket that I would throw Caldera Park in.
Yeah, and there is a variant side of the board. So each player board can be flipped over to the alternate side. And that is interesting because you are putting the weather tokens a little bit closer to the center. Mm-hmm. They're not buried on the outside, and there is one that goes right in the middle. So that could cause a lot of chaos, and maybe even into that gamer level might enjoy that as well. The other thing I want to touch on too is that the production of this is really good, the same way that Savannah Parks was, which is once everything is punched, each player gets their own little box. And so you just hand out the boxes of tiles and you're ready to go. Tiles never get mixed with one another, so it's easy to then pick it all up, pack it back up, and you're off and running. So that is another thing I wanted to highlight that this game does really well. Anything else for you, Michael?
No, you got it all, Doug.
All right, so that is Caldera Park from Pegasus Spiele.